Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod, Season 15, Episode 5. This is the Midwest's Most Dangerous Podcast, coming to you live from the NECA IBEW Power in Indiana Lake County Studios.
Good morning.
Hey.
Who do we owe these beautiful lilacs to?
Me. No, just kidding.
It's Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah,
of course you guys are getting flowers.
Love it. Thank you, Jill.
Jill, that's really nice.
It doesn't smell like butt in our studio like
For
usual.
once.
I know.
For once.
It smells like butt and lilacs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of the
That's
episode.
the next candle.
Butt and lilacs.
Happy Mother's Day.
I like when we get the
Happy
title
Mother's
out
Day
of the
from
way
Tom.
right away.
Butt and lilacs. I love it.
These are from your garden?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Wow, great.
Our lilacs have not yet bloomed.
Those are from the back of my house.
Or it gets all the sun.
And I have 12 lilac bushes.
Wow.
So it kind of goes in a circle.
No wonder you're giving away lilacs.
These are like a short life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They smell so good, though. All right. Thank you for bringing them in.
So, we're getting really homey in the studio, I noticed, right? We got lilacs in here.
Vagina candles.
Flower
Vagina.
delivery.
Dude,
there's a cot in the back.
Jill, check this out. So I'm in here the other day, and we get off the show. I know it was Lindsay's day. And as soon as we get done with the show, freaking a dry cleaner comes running in here and gives John a bag and takes John's bag and runs out. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? It's literally we just finished the show. The dude was waiting to take John dry cleaning for Lockpod to finish.
This is embellished, but keep
and
going.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? And John's like, yeah, this is great. Kevin's office has dry cleaning delivered.
So I told him, I said, you should get it delivered to the studio.
I'm like, you work at City Hall, asshole. This isn't your office. This is our side gig, John. You don't get your dry cleaning done in the freaking studio.
I don't even own anything that needs dry cleaning.
Yeah, you do.
I do not.
I have dry cleaning. But
Really?
I've never
No.
taken it to the damn studio. This is Lockpod.
I love it,
dude.
John.
This is Lockpod.
Thank you,
You
Kevin.
don't do
Yeah.
your damn dry cleaning in Lockpod?
I mean, John's here that much. He needs the dry cleaning delivered.
It's called multitasking.
All right, do you guys want the truth now?
No.
Or do you want Tom's version?
What is the
I
truth?
like
What are you
that.
talking about?
I like that.
That was the truth, but
Tom's version of
the
the truth?
story is I haven't been happy with my dry cleaner for a long time, and I
Really?
won't call them out. But I asked Kevin, because when I think of style and I think of someone who
bad
takes
idea.
care of clothes, I think of Kevin.
That's
And
nice.
he recommended
of the
a place.
four of us
That's
here.
bullshit.
I guess.
He recommended a place, and he mentioned that they offer this delivery service that he does already
True.
at his
At my office, yeah.
I got to get a dry cleaner to come to City Hall. I didn't
You
even know
should.
this
You know
was an
what?
option.
It's a
Just
thing.
put them in one of the
Okay,
offices.
I am
Just put
telling
a
you-
business in there.
For someone that's busy and because going to the dry cleaner is load it up in the car, take it to the dry cleaner, pick it up from the
that's
dry
what-
cleaner,
that's
try to
what
schedule it.
Normal citizens do.
It's
Same
not
as
that, It
groceries,
is not
like-
that
Yeah,
much.
right?
Oh,
It's just a
you
life
mean
thing.
peasants?
No,
That's what normal people do, Kevin. Yeah.
Kevin calls them peasants.
Yeah.
Don't make eye
Like-
contact with them, Kevin.
Steve and I have been doing this a long time. It's
Oh,
very
Steve's one of
Oh,
them, too.
yeah.
Yes,
Fucking throwing Steve under
I
the bus?
co-opted him.
Jeez,
But it's very convenient, and they do a good job. So shout out to Lansing Cleaners. That's who we use.
Oh, great. Now they know where our clothes are going to be, Kevin. All the stalkers are going to know where your unmentionables are
I
at.
want to go there because that's where John's underwear are. Lansing Cleaners, ladies out there.
I purposely don't buy clothes if they say dry clean.
Welcome to the club, John.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah.
I have a new segment. Instead of Tom's middle finger, it should be Tom's helpful suggestions.
Oh,
I like it.
Yes.
What do we got?
I went to a place the other day, and I don't want to put him on blast.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait a
Because
minute.
it's a Hammond business, and they're trying, right? And so I don't want to do the Tom's middle finger because it's
Good
too
idea.
rough, right?
Right. We don't
So
want-
it's Tom's helpful suggestions.
Be
What do you
better.
think? Right?
Be better.
Right?
That's good.
It's a new coffee
I
store.
like
I'm not going to
this.
say the coffee store,
Okay.
okay? But I was being nice because I was because I have a coffee schedule. I'm set on my coffee game.
And who's the bougie one, John?
Yeah,
I'm set on my
exactly right.
coffee game.
I have coffee in the studio. Thank you, Joe. This is courtesy of Smith Sursic.
Thank you. And Jill, thank you.
Push
I have
the button.
coffee at work with I have a little machine
Which
that does it.
a fancy machine, by the
Okay,
way.
and I have coffee at home, same machine. So I have three coffee places,
That is
right?
a little bougie.
Whatever, dude. But I keep it caffeinated. Okay,
Fair enough.
You
Because
need the caffeine.
I do.
Yeah,
I do,
yeah.
right. So
That's debatable.
That's a joke.
so this is my coffee situation. I don't need to go outside of that situation. It covers me basically everywhere I go, right? So I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna go get coffee, I'm just being nice, really, right? So I'm like, I'm here and this is a new shop. You got to check it out. So I'm like, cool. I'm going to be a good man.
No, wait a minute. Let me ask you a quick
Oh,
question.
if you're
Hold
talking
on.
about the same place that we've been going to,
can-
we
I
might
don't want to say
fight.
their name.
Can I
okay?
ask you?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question though? I thought for a while, and maybe you've changed this, but you were always on a Starbucks run.
I was.
Okay, you're off of that now. So now you've got
I have a Starbucks still. If I travel, I go to Starbucks.
Okay,
now.
but now
like,
your routine is City Hall.
because honestly, the number one thing with me is speed, Kevin.
Yep.
I don't want to fuck around.
Like dry cleaning, John.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm starting to see parallels.
I'm like,
I'm
maybe
starting to see parallels. Good point, counselor. Okay, so for me, it's like I want my fucking coffee now. Just give me my coffee and let me go. Right. So Starbucks is a little bit too slow for me, believe it or not. I'll do it, but like it's so quick in the office, so quick here. Sure. You can just crank it out, and it's great coffee. This coffee we have in the studio is great, strong coffee, right?
But what you guys it's black coffee.
Yes,
correct.
True.
So like that
straight black coffee. This is the only time I'm really drinking straight black coffee is in the studio. Okay.
Oh, so it's not like black coffee.
No,
at
it's
the
a
office?
latte.
I'm black.
It's a
Okay.
latte.
I'm black.
It's a latte where I
Kevin,
normally
you're black.
Coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, I get a lattes when I'm drinking like for pleasure. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to swing by this coffee shop because I'm going to be a good mayor, and I don't even think they recognize me. First off, okay, so I go into the coffee shop, and that's
Strike
even better,
one.
by the way. No, honestly, I'm better. I'd rather be unnoticed.
Agreed.
That's just me.
Nice.
I'm antisocial.
I know how you are like that.
So I go in there. I'm like, I just want to like buy it so I could say I got it, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm behind the dude that wants to look at everything on the menu.
Of course.
Okay, so this is Tom's helpful suggestion. If you're a coffee shop, you got to have a separate line for people like me if you expect to be successful, right? Because I sat there behind this person for 15 fucking minutes.
And what was your
And they were
order?
like, what is this? What is in this sandwich? Do you have donuts? Do you have ice cream? What kind of ice cream do you have? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Like right behind him, like, and I'm looking at the lady like, I want
just
one
need an espresso,
freaking
man.
coffee. Like, just give me one coffee. I don't have time for this shit. So Tom's helpful suggestion, okay?
It's an express line.
It's not Tom's middle finger.
Right.
Tom's helpful suggestion.
Because you want them to succeed.
I want them to
Yes.
succeed, and I don't want to put them on blast because it was a good coffee. Okay, I liked it, but
going
I was
back.
it was so bitter.
You want
like, I was so pissed off by the time I got the coffee.
Not the coffee wasn't bitter.
The coffee was great. The coffee was great. I was bitter by the time I got to it. Right.
I think your problem was with the person in front of you.
Well,
Yeah.
but the problem is this: if you're a coffee shop, you got to realize there's people in the world, coffee drinkers. Don't fuck around. Give me my damn coffee.
Right.
I'm gone. Right.
Well, and that's why at Starbucks, and I don't go as often as I used to. Same thing with you as you said, but I always use the app, and I would have it. It's just sitting there. I walk in,
That's how
walk
I go.
out.
That's how I roll.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a little spoiled because I'm used to walking in, grabbing my coffee, and going.
That's
I'm
probably
at
true.
Starbucks like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
I'd say,
same.
hey guys, and then I leave. Right. So like I'm spoiled. So this coffee shop that's I want them to do well. They have to realize that's their competition is Starbucks, and like Starbucks is quick, right?
Yep.
These other, and I'm in a hurry if I'm getting coffee. I don't have time to wait for the freaking 20 panini order in front of me, right? So
I like
anyway,
this.
I think
What's
I
in
know
this?
Tom's
What's
helpful
this ice cream?
suggestion. What's that, Joe?
I think I know which place you're talking about.
I
And
know,
that's
but I don't
not-
want to say it.
And that's you go there for the vibe, right? So I don't think they're a speed place. I think it's
Right,
they're
I
catering
get
for
you.
people
Hang-
to
I
sit
get
down
you.
like a hangout.
I get you, but some people
And quite
like
frankly,
me are in a hurry.
I've gone in there multiple times and been the asshole that made them make me a specialty drink.
Oh, see,
I was behind you, Joe.
Jill's like
Oh no!
Could I
had
have
the recipe
14
pulled up.
paninis?
Oh no! I had the recipe pulled up.
caramel drizzle.
Yeah.
They're gonna name something after me at some point. I think.
I like this new segment though. Tom's helpful
So
suggestions.
we need like a little pleasant
I agree. I was
NPR-ish
thinking
type
of that.
music, John. Just like a real
I like
Tom's
piano.
helpful suggestions. No, Tom's middle finger is a little rough.
Like
I like Tom's
Mr.
helpful-
Rogers, like the
Yes,
thing for that. Yeah.
yes.
when
Mr.
you're on
Rogers.
when you're on Tom's middle finger segment. That's
not
bad.
good. But if
Not
you're on
good.
Tom's helpful suggestions, it's
He
a whole
likes
different
you.
vibe.
He likes you.
I like you. I want you to succeed.
By the way,
That wasn't in the notes.
the
No,
Kevin
you like it,
cam. Look at this, Jill.
Look at Kevin. You look phenomenal today.
What's
you.
going on? Did you sleep
Wow,
last
no,
night?
Behind
I
the
bet-
bush.
What's going on?
I didn't sleep that well.
Really? I want to see what Jana
Man,
looks like this morning.
Nah,
I
I'm
bet you
sure
she's,
well
she's
rested.
glowing too. She's
Well
glowing
rested.
too.
Tom, you placed
Very well
the
rested.
flowers perfectly for the Kevin cam. It softens up his masculine image a little bit. Because when I think of a man, I think of Kevin.
Hell yeah.
We know that. Thanks, John.
These flowers are
That's
perfect.
not true.
Thank you.
Well, some excitement yesterday was we've
Pope.
got an American Pope,
The Pope.
which is great. Really
The
exciting.
Pope is sort of like a rap name too. The Pope.
The Pope.
The
Well,
Pope?
if you have a Chicago Pope, I guess.
Yeah, if you're
The
an
memes
aspiring
are
Chicago
great.
rapper.
The memes are great. We've got a couple. So
Oh, yeah, the
John,
memes
we've
are
got one
phenomenal.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. So this
Wait,
is,
he's from Chicago? Is this right?
Dalton. He's from Dalton.
From Dalton.
He's the second most famous person from Dalton.
Oh no, I saw a meme and it was like Mayor Tiff saying like, well, I'm not mayor anymore, but at least I'm the most famous person from Dalton. And then they show the Pope. So this is pretty funny. It's a meme where the Pope, now Pope, looks like he was a cardinal in this photo, is holding a Chicago beef sandwich with
That's a dry beef.
jardinera.
That's a dry
Well,
beef.
he didn't have the wet yet.
You got to do the dip
Didn't
with
have
like
the
almost
dip.
the sign of the cross. Like that's the same motion.
There's a Bears flag that looks like the Bears with the navy blue and orange with the Pope.
Duh, Pope.
And then there's a crucifix, along with a tavern-style pizza cut in squares, plus a bottle of Malort next to that. And that's a pretty good meme. This was pretty. Before we get into some info about the Pope, the new Pope, Leo.
No,
Leo
let's just talk about the memes.
This was a
Screw the Pope.
post literally put on by the Cubs at Cubs that said it's a Wrigley Field marquee with "Hey Chicago, he's a Cubs fan."
That started a whole controversy.
Which I think at this point has been resolved, because here's actually a picture of him at the 2005 with some gentleman, but he's in the background, and there's a close-up of him at the 05
Hold it, which
World
one is
Series.
him?
He's standing up. He's on the left in the background.
Oh,
and there's
okay.
a
He
close-up.
looks like a
yeah.
mobster.
He does look like he totally looks like a mobster in
He's
that.
calling a hit on
He's got
somebody.
he's got a nice White
He
Sox
does look like
jersey
you'd
on.
see in Goodfellas, man. That's like a total scene from Goodfellas.
And then just to kind of confirm that, first of all, it's pretty
How
funny.
about that dude in front of him? The dude's in a picture with the Pope now.
One
Good job, White
million,
Sox
if he's
fan.
still alive.
Yeah,
I
man.
assume he is, but
What are you? That's not
he's
nice.
still
That's not
older.
nice. Why? Because he's
So
a big
much
guy at the
Malort.
White Sox game?
no, 20 years ago.
You're like, that guy's not around for sure.
Plus 20.
Yeah,
That guy's
you're right.
rough.
That guy's definitely not around. That guy plus 20. All right.
If you're alive,
I
hop
hope
in
he's
chat.
around. I hope he's around.
But if you are, and I hope he is too, you
Yeah.
got 1.8 million views just this one photo. So.
he's like, I
Wow.
posted it, asshole. I'm alive.
So even just to be so Chicago, the Cubs Sox thing became an item. And here's
What do you
an
mean? Whether he was a Cubs or
Yes,
a
a
Sox
Sox
fan? That's a
fan.
big freaking deal in Chicago.
Right. And so
Right.
here's his brother in an interview. Kind of, this is hilarious. It's a 30-second interview, and they
They had to clear this up right off the
Yeah,
bat.
this is
Like,
like-
wait a second. Like, is this true?
And he's wearing Sox colors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
good point. Here we go.
Clear up the thing about the Cubs and White Sox.
Yeah, he was never, ever a Cubs fan, so I don't know where that came from. He
Fucking
was
liars.
always a Sox fan.
Cubs.
It's playing, Tom, but you can't hear it for some
I can't hear
reason.
it.
Our
Yeah.
mother
The audio
was a
track
Cubs
on
fan.
this
I
is
don't know,
messed
maybe
up.
that
Okay.
clued in there. And our dad was a Cardinals fan, so I don't know where that all came from. And all the aunts, our mom's family was from North Side, so that's why they were.
They were Cubs fans,
So there
but
you go.
he was a Sox fan. So I think that's been cleared up.
So what I'm hearing is next year we might break like 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Be
Now
a
that
lot of
he's
prayers.
Pope.
That's right. Could you imagine if they go from last to first tomorrow next year?
That would be so funny. They go on a
Hallelujah.
They win
tear.
the World Series.
They should get like something on their uniform about the
Oh,
Pope.
it'd be great. Like the Leo 14th like
Dude, that
emblem.
would be so
That'd be
awesome.
great.
It would be, by the way, good marketing idea. Because it would take off. Like all the Sox
Huge.
fans would tear that up.
I feel like
Yeah.
they're in a throwback. It's an anniversary year, and the logo they threw back to like lends itself to that.
I tell
like
you
it.
what, man, the Cubs throwback this year is amazing. I love that
seen it.
jersey. But that jersey is taking off. The light blue. You see it all over Wrigley right now. I bought one. I bought a Dansby one, and he's on a tear ever since I bought it. We talked about that last show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But exciting about the Pope. First American Pope. He's from Chicago. Interesting thing I thought was he has spent a lot of time outside of the U.S. and he's supposed to be kind of in the same mode as Pope Francis. So that's exciting. It's going to be.
I was getting choked up yesterday. It was
Yeah.
a really nice day.
Yeah.
It was nice to see it. It was really. It's just, and I liked the last Pope a lot. Honestly, I thought he was a
Same.
great Pope, and
Same.
I just think it's good for the church. It's a new breath of fresh air, and it's an American Pope. He's from Chicago. It's super cool, man. Super
Yeah.
cool. It's going to be really. I think. Can you imagine the first time the Pope comes to Chicago? How big of a deal that's going
I
to be?
think we're finally going to get a Pope back to Chicago.
That's going to be really cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Marissa already told me we're going. I'm like, of course we're going.
Yep.
But it's going to be a long ass day. I'm already like stressing about that day, and it's not even set. So I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be outside 12 hours that day.
For sure. I just thought, when you see the St. Peter's Square and you see the excitement there and they interviewed a bunch of people, it is easy to get choked up watching that.
I got
it
choked
was
up.
really, really
Definitely.
cool.
I get choked up easy, though. I'm a
It's
softie.
true.
Yeah.
Yep.
I get choked up when I hear a Taylor Swift song.
I mean,
This
who
is
doesn't,
true.
though?
Often, by the way, Joe.
John, we've witnessed this, right,
like
John?
often.
That's a normal reaction, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm a freaking 56-year-old man.
I just
fine.
remember
I'm like crying to like Taylor Swift song. It's not normal.
at the concert, John and I walk in. Tom's sitting there. He's got tears in his eyes.
Oh,
Joe's
my
just
God.
like, it's okay, Mayor.
For 3 hours. He's
Dude.
like nothing else exists in the world.
I was really fucked up that day, though,
When-
too. So I was
When
just
you
stressing.
guys left to go to the merch tent, and it was about
I
to be
was
Reputation,
pissed.
he whipped around and said, "Where the fuck is Kevin?"
I was
John?"
pissed. I was like, "Can you believe these guys, Jill?
I said, "I don't
They
know."
left during Reputation."
He's like,
We
"It's
screwed
about
up.
to be the
We are
best
getting
part."
merch.
That was the
I
best
know.
part of the show. That was when she gets dressed up.
That's
Yes.
a like sexy
Oh, my
era,
God.
right?
Oh, that was the one when Kevin wanted to leave during.
Yeah.
What was that song?
I
it was the one with the
with
chairs.
the chairs, yeah.
Midnight. No.
I was just trying to get us moving.
I was like,
Before-
yeah.
we talked
The
about this. We
standard
like
leave
to leave
early.
before the end.
I know, man.
The other just getting back to the Pope for 1 second. The other great Pope photo that I saw is him with a bunch of his high school friends, or like maybe neighborhood grade school friends, because I heard he went to the seminary in
yeah, I
eighth
have
grade
that, I think.
at Aurelio's, which I thought was just,
Really?
Yeah, and
Which
they were-
Aurelio's?
Up in Chicago, at Homewood. Homewood.
Okay.
Homewood
Is that the
Aurelio's.
original location?
Yeah.
Because
And-
I know in the region we had some of the most original Aurelios,
Yes,
right?
no, this was in Homewood.
Get out
And,
of here, man.
so
That
it's
is
great.
crazy.
Here it is.
And I saw a post
That is
by
insane. By the way, Aurelios is awesome.
It's
too.
great.
Delicious.
Why doesn't
Yeah.
Aurelio sponsor our show?
so
Or
Aure-
just send pizza.
Aurelio's.
That would be amazing.
They did a
believe
post.
Steve, call Aurelio's, man.
What the
God.
fuck, Steve?
What the fuck is going on with Steve?
Pizza
Like,
for
And-
breakfast. That's amazing.
They did. Aurelio's did a post that said,
why are we
now,
always thinking of this shit?
now you know where I were heaven sent. Yeah, that was great. Heaven sent pizza. And by the way,
Aurelio's is great. By the way, they took a picture in Aurelio's and they got the logo in the background and
Look
they had
at
the
that.
future Pope in there. Good
Look at
thinking,
that.
Aurelio's.
well, that could have been not Aurelio's taking that photo.
But it was
could have
good.
been Somebody
Either way.
else took the photo.
Let's just give them credit. Kevin, I'm trying to court them on our show. Help me out.
Hey, by the way, speaking of advertise, if you are an advertiser or you're a company that wants to advertise in Lockpod, get a hold of Steve. Steve at Lock. What is it, John? Steve at
lockpod.com.
Yeah, we have an opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of our
It's a
sponsors.
good
got-
reason.
Yeah, one of
It's
our
a good
sponsors
reason.
got bought.
Bought by a national firm.
Yes,
One of our sponsors. And they heard about it on Lockpod. True story.
there we go.
That's how it all started.
It's all started. If you
Just
want
run
your,
with it. Just
We
run
have to own that company.
Just run with it. Just run with it.
I like
okay?
it.
Well,
Yeah.
good,
Right.
good Pope
Am I-
news,
am I-
and get a hold of Steve if you want
Good,
to be an
good
advertiser.
Pope news.
Yes.
Aurelio's needs to use this.
Oh,
in an ad,
without
like,
a doubt.
The Pope loves our pizza. What else do you need to know?
We're heaven sent.
Come to
Oh
what
my
I
God.
saw.
Dude, you know, they would be foolish if they didn't use a picture
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
This is the Pope eating our pizza. Boom. Done. Like it's a really easy campaign. Even God, even the Pope knows. Really is pizza or whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm just toying around here. Like,
You're
give me a couple
spitballing.
minutes. I'm
I think you're
spitballing.
right. The White Sox are going to market the hell out of this. How could they not have great merch with
I mean,
the Pope?
I know. I think the Cubs should do it just anyway.
They,
they keep the
they already tried to
controversy.
steal him. I mean, why not?
I know, right?
His mom was a Cubs fan, so
We don't care
we've
about
got
his
the
mom.
Pope's
She's not the
mother.
Pope.
It's like the
By
Pope's
the way,
mother.
so
Pope
the whole
adjacent.
Cubs thing, the whole Cubs thing saying he's a Cubs fan, that was just classic Trump, right? They're just like, yeah,
just
you
say
just
it.
fucking say it, right? Yeah, he's a Cubs fan. No, actually, he's a Sox fan. Shut the fuck up. He's a Cubs fan, right? It's like, okay, I guess he's a Cubs fan. You don't, because the truth doesn't
in a
matter.
way, you're right.
right.
I never thought about that.
It's the Ricketts family.
No. It says MS13
Yeah,
right on his knuckles.
I'm not going to let
Terry.
it go until you say yes. You're right, Mr. President.
CUBS.
No, I don't want to move on, Terry.
This is what's
MS13.
wrong with the
Look at his knuckles.
the fake media.
CUBS.
I hope
Cubs.
there's not a him with a hat with the Bulls hat on because he'll
Oh.
get fucking deported to
Yeah, El Salvador.
Salvador.
Well, he'd be okay down there. He was
Yeah,
from
he'd be fine.
he was bishop in Peru for many years.
Yeah, but
So.
Yeah.
All right, why don't we go ahead? We got a guest in the blue room. This is an amazing story that we're going to be covering in the third segment. It's Matt Reum.
Yeah,
Reum.
Matt Reum.
It's Matt is, for those of you that aren't aware, Matt has an incredible story of survival. Basically, was involved in a horrible car crash and trapped beneath a bridge for days.
6 days.
And he is coming on, and we're going to be talking to him about that 6-day experience and, the experience of being discovered and saved. And it's going to be quite the story. So that's coming up in the third segment. After we get back from ads, we're going to talk a little Gabe Whitley, update you on. Gabe is a frequent flyer on the show.
Yes, he is.
So we're going to update you on some legal troubles he's experiencing. And we're going to talk a little bit of Christine Noem and Department of Homeland Security commercials. So stick with us. Let's start off with Powering Indiana Lake County. Powering Indiana Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. At Powering Indiana Lake County, we set the standard for excellence in electrical work. As IBW Local 697 electrical contractors, we ensure safety, reliability, and quality for Northwest Indiana corporations, businesses, and homes alike. But our mission goes beyond the job site. We're creating a brighter future for the region we proudly serve. Powering Indiana Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community. Find the right electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
Kouklakis Law. Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kouklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need representation buying or selling real estate? Call Kouklakis Law. Do you need help financing your business? Call Kouklakis Law. I'm sorry, forming your business. Call Kouklakis Law. Did you get injured in a car crash or at your job? Call Kouklakis Law. No matter what your legal issue, call 219-671-6347 for a free consultation. Who are you going to call? Kouklakis Law. Hablamos Espanol.
MCR Partners is your one-stop shop Jesus, I can't read today. Anyway, call MCR Partners. They're your expertise in economic development, finance, and planning with a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on. They're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Stay in the loop and connected by hitting up their website at mcrpartnersllc.com for tailored assistance. Don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
I was wondering if you could get him in the Lilacs. Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time and within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions that leave a lasting impression. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today. And I did want to mention thank you to Jamie over at Misprint and Teresa. Those gals were unbelievable and did a great job for me when I was over there yesterday.
We have also they helped us out. We have a thing in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's why I was there.
Yeah, we're presenting a couple of sites in the city of Hammond to a Las Vegas economic development convention, and they did some amazing work.
Phenomenal work.
Yeah,
so great job, Misprint.
Great job, like the big flags that you put up outside of your booth and all that. So Misprint helped us with all that stuff. So thank you very much to Misprint Printing, one of our sponsors. So
we need a Misprint jingle, I think.
Oh, Rick, get on that.
Yeah.
You'll probably want some like Dutch soccer jingle, some Dutch soccer song or playing in the background.
Of course.
We got to get Eli back on, man.
Yeah.
We haven't had music in seasons.
We need Eli. We need Rep Andrade.
But like Eli, yeah, we have Rep Andrade, and then Eli closes out the show with like a couple songs like he used to do back in the day.
We'll go old school.
Remember, like that was so cool how he came up with the Tortillas Nuevo Leon jingle. That was so crazy. We were just,
and I just love it that Tortillas Nuevo Leon has embraced it.
Yeah. We were sitting on the show, and this is a long time ago, so, I mean, there's some listeners that have probably been with us the whole way. But we were sitting there, and we had this gentleman named Eli in the studio, and we're going to bring him back. He's a friend of ours, and he's just playing little songs, and we were messing around. We were like, yeah, man, you got to make a jingle for Tortillas Nuevo Leon. And he made that song, and we played it thousands of times, well, 500 times or whatever. We played it on each show ever since then. And Tortillas Nuevo Leon basically endorsed the jingle. It's like
they've embraced it.
It's
They
like
love
their
it.
company jingle now. That was all Lockpod. So.
Thank you, Eli. Thank you.
Hey, Gabe Whitley. For those of you that don't remember, Gabe Whitley has been mentioned quite a few times on this show. He popped up on our radar by doing the Indiana Caravan in front of my house, which was the biggest Lockpod episode of all
Indiana
time.
Trump Caravan.
The Trump Caravan. They drove from Evansville, Indiana. He had a crew of about 50 people. Multiple cars. They drove from Evansville to Hammond, which is not an easy drive, by the way. I've done it a number of times. 5 hours. And then they assembled in the parking lot, and they drove right in front of my house. And then they drove their happy asses back home.
And we were outside waving to them and welcoming. We were like the welcome wagon.
There was supposed to be like some intimidating march in front of my house, and we had like a barbecue in the front yard, and we put it on a Lockpod episode. There was tens of thousands of viewers. It was great.
That was back when like Trump parades and like the boat parade and like the Trump. Remember all that, John? When they had all these like
what Gabe managed to do there was the biggest show of unity among Democrats and Republicans. That's what I don't think that was his intention.
Yeah,
but everyone was so friendly and nice.
Of course, we were like, "Have a nice trip home."
Yeah, it was a beautiful event. It gave me hope for the future of America. Honestly, thank you, Gabe.
And since then, he's pissed off Abdul Shabazz many times.
Oh yeah, Abdul's been on our show a few times. And so Abdul and him got into litigation. It was a serious
Defamation,
litigation.
yeah.
Defamation,
Right.
but like serious allegations, And then Gabe Whitley also ran for Congress under the moniker Honest Gabe. Vote for Honest Gabe, like
Yes.
Honest Abe.
Oh man, remember that?
Poor Honest Abe is rolling over in his coffin right now.
He wanted to come on and debate you on Lockpot.
Of course he
Remember
does,
that? Yes.
because far more people would know who he is if he came on to debate us. We didn't want to do that.
No.
We didn't want to bore you.
No.
We would just rather talk to you about his downfall.
Honest Gabe Whitley.
Honest Gabe. Well, Honest Gabe is not so honest, it appears.
He's honestly going to jail.
He is honestly going to be in prison. Yeah.
We've got a sentencing order. John, can you throw that up while the mayor's talking about it?
Yeah.
Former Indiana congressional candidate Gabe Whitley has been sentenced to 3 months in federal prison for falsifying campaign finance reports during his 2024 run in Indiana's 7th congressional district. Following his release, he will serve 1 year of supervised release and pay a $100 fine. Whitley, who branded himself in his campaigns as Honest Gabe for Congress, admitted to fabricating over $234,000 in campaign contributions. He submitted false reports to the FEC, listing fictitious donors and a non-existent $100,000 personal loan to his campaign. You want me to just keep going on this?
The thing about this that's interesting, because you brought it up actually when we were talking about Santos, is that it's like the inflation. It's like the inflating. You want to explain that again? Because
it's interesting. You would think that typically when people get in trouble for campaign finance violations, it's because they have a sum of money sitting there, and the elected official who gets in trouble is taking it out somehow. That's typically 99% of all.
Misuse of
Yeah,
not using
they're
it for
like
campaign
using it to
purposes.
fly to their family on vacation, using it to do personal, expenses,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And then you get into IRS trouble because if you took a personal loan out of it and you didn't pay taxes on that loan, the IRS gets you. So you get a couple different ways from the feds, right? So that's typically, if you're going to see an elected official go down for campaign finance violations, it's typically because they're stealing from it. It's not very often they're lying about how much is going into it. But we've noticed that with George Santos and now Honest Gabe Whitley. Honest Gabe, I love that.
And the things that they said in the Santos case was that what happened was the Republican Congressional Committee, RCCC or RCCC, got kind of duped because they give money based on how much money you bring in.
So they're the victims.
Yeah, and they were like, this guy basically lied to us. We ended up, giving
they
him a
have
bunch of money.
They have parameters. They're like, okay, if you're a candidate for Congress and you raise $250,000 in a cycle, then you're qualified to receive $150,000 of RCCC money, right? So if you fake your $250,000 and then you qualify for the $150,000, you basically just got a free $150,000.
committed fraud in doing it.
You committed fraud. By the way, the feds, you're banking on the fact that nobody's going to look at your campaign finance report and say, Kevin Smith gave me a $5,000 loan. All they have to do is go, hi, Mr. Smith. Hi, I'm FBI agent. How you doing? Yeah, I was wondering, did you give a $5,000 loan to Honest Gabe Whitley? And you're like, huh?
Who's Honest Gabe
Who the
Whitley?
fuck? Like-
Sounds like I might want
Yeah,
to.
and then he shows you the report, and he says, this report says you
Who
gave
is
a
that?
$5,000 loan to Honest Gabe Whitley. You're like, I never gave $5,000 to anybody, IRS, FBI agent. And they're like, oh, Honest Gabe's fucked. Thank you, Mr. Smith, right? That's how it goes down.
And next thing you know, he's doing 3 months in prison, in
Yeah.
federal prison.
Yeah, he's in trouble, man.
Yikes.
He's
And then
in
he's on
trouble.
a year of supervised release. He's got to pay back money. And Honest Gabe has been quiet as a church mouse.
I thought it was.
No more caravans in front of my house.
Not anytime soon.
I thought it was interesting in the notes here. It says prosecutors highlighted that Whitley's fraudulent activity. Wait, hold on. That's not it. They also noted his subsequent lawsuits against federal entities, which were dismissed, as indicative of his continued disregard for the judicial process. So is he running around like just suing?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to say he filed a lawsuit against a U.S. attorney or something.
I think you're right.
Which is
and then, by the way,
usually
he
not a
had
good idea.
all
by the
kinds
way.
of litigation going on. Our buddy Abdul,
Right.
frequent guest on our show, host in WIBC, I believe, down in Indianapolis, has his own Abdul, the cheat sheet. I just want to throw it all out there because Abdul's a friend of mine and a guest on the show. But him and Honest Gabe were involved in straight up litigation, and it's not a good situation.
No, it wasn't pretty. I mean, Abdul won. He was on the show talking about it. I
Thank
think
you.
we had a video of him actually smoking a cigar as a result of the
Right.
of the victory. It was a serious. They were, Gabe was making really serious and disgusting allegations that were false
and
against-
racial. He was saying racial things about Abdul as well.
yeah, and so Abdul was like, F this,
Right.
and took him to court, and did a good job. And
Abdul's like a Chicago guy, dude. You don't fuck with that guy.
I'm with you, man.
But then, like, didn't so Abdul won,
Right.
and then Honest Gabe defamed him again. So
Yes.
Abdul, like, sued
so
him
again.
But it just like shows like basically Honest Gabe has no respect whatsoever for authority, for
Judicial
rules,
process, rule
for
of
the
law.
process. Yeah, he's basically spit on the system, and he's running for Congress, and he's lying about what he's getting. This is not good things.
And that's why when the U.S. attorney, who's doing obviously a good job in getting Gabe convicted and sentenced, he did a good job pointing out, or he or she did a good job pointing out what the issues are, and one of them is disregard for the judicial process.
Yeah.
And that's not going to do well in front of a federal judge.
Yeah.
So. Sorry, Gabe.
Sorry, Gabe.
Maybe he'll. Maybe this is turn things around after this.
Yeah.
I mean, he got out the Trump wagon and went for DeSantis, John. So.
Hey, redemption arc.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we can hope so.
We can hope.
Next thing you know, he's voting Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 3 months.
Whoa,
is
whoa,
really
not that
time
far.
around.
Let's not go that far.
Easy.
All right. Hey, I want to do this. This is something that's new. I've never seen federal government running commercials before.
Not like this.
And this is a commercial that we see often on Chicago TV stations in our area. It's run by the Department of Homeland Security. Its intent is to scare people in the state or in the area illegally or in the country illegally and try to get them to self-deport.
I think it's also meant to underscore what I think in a lot of the country identified as a red meat issue during the campaign, which was immigration.
Okay.
And so it underscores how great Trump is. And it's like almost like I don't want to say it's a campaign ad, but it really just reemphasizes that issue.
Could I add one more thing? Anytime a politician, this is just basic politics too. Anytime you'll see this with total politicians, okay, and I'm not going to name names. Anytime a politician gets a chance to spend public money advertising their name, it's a good political move for the total basic politician. And I don't count myself in that group. I don't just like throw my name out there everywhere and spending taxpayer money just advertising my name. But you do see politicians that do that, okay? And I don't have respect for those politicians because I know what they're doing. But like I don't say anything either because it's legal what they're doing.
So not to go too far back, but going back like 22 years, you made it an issue in your first campaign.
Yeah, I said that the guy I was running against, the mayor at the time, was basically sending out taxpayer-paid political endorsements of himself. And I made it a deal, and I've watched out for it ever since, and I see people still do it. And usually they're in my party, to be honest with you, and I don't say anything because I don't want to piss them off, and I just don't conduct myself that way.
And there's nothing illegal about doing
No.
this. It's just a I guess a good way to get your name back out there.
I think it's a political commercial. I think it serves a lot of purposes, but I think politics is definitely part of it.
So here, let's play the commercial. We're going to talk about the budget that's been used on this, and then there's a really, I think, funny yet crazy follow-up commercial to this one.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for securing our border, for deporting criminal illegal immigrants, and for putting America first. President Trump has a clear message for those that are in our country illegally. Leave now. If you don't, we will find you, and we will deport you. You will never return. For too long, weak politicians left our borders wide open. They flooded our communities with drugs, human trafficking, and violent criminals. They put American lives at risk. Well, those days are over. If you leave now, you may have an opportunity to return and enjoy our freedom and live the American dream. But understand this. Under President Trump, America's borders are closed to lawbreakers. Follow the law, and you'll find opportunity. Break it, and you'll find consequences. The choice is yours. America welcomes those who respect our...
All right. Whoa.
That's a campaign ad.
The
dude.
music.
That's a total campaign commercial. And it's paid for with taxpayer money, which is the disgusting part. But
So-
do you agree, Kev?
Well, I think it serves dual purpose, right? It pumps up the Trump administration,
Right.
And it also underscores their issue on immigration.
Okay, but what's the
and scares
main?
people.
Do you really think that they're doing this because they want illegal, people that are here illegal to see it?
I think it's like a victory lap. That's what
I think
look
it's
at
a campaign commercial. It's like they know this is a great issue with Americans. They know that Biden fumbled on this issue, and they're just beating it home with taxpayer money, by the way. They're beating it home, and it's a campaign commercial for Donald Trump.
I was curious on the budget on this. It's $200 million.
Taxpayer money.
Doge did not cut this. Doge left this alone.
No, they're using the savings from Doge for this.
I think it's about even then.
Come on.
She looks like she's
It is.
She looks like she's in the confessional in the Jersey Shore house. Like,
By the way, that's
fucking
also
awful.
it's also advertising her
Sure.
She's listen. I don't like this lady at all, but she's very attractive physically. Okay,
she's-
and it doesn't hurt seeing an attractive physical woman on the commercial,
Got
even
some
though
nice filler. Yeah, she's good. She's good looking for sure.
she's pretty.
Agree.
Yeah.
Oh, without.
I don't
without
like
doubt.
her. Don't get me wrong, but
No, I
like,
don't like her
so you
politics,
have
but-
this pretty woman spouting a campaign ad for Donald Trump, spending $200 million of American taxpayer money in the process.
I think it's unheard of. Not unheard of,
I've
but
never
like,
seen
I've
anything
never
like
seen it.
I've never seen it either.
You also have to look at this through the optics of who are the potential GOP nominees for 2028.
Without a doubt,
Is Noam possibly one of them?
she's got to be.
John, they're helping her out a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and I thought this article in Rolling Stone was interesting because it really went into her speaking at an RNC. I don't know if it was an RNC event or something like that. Maybe it was a Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC, event where she talked about the fact that President Trump said to her, I want you to be in the ads. You do the ads. Just make sure you thank me on the first one. So she did.
Because Donald Trump is a marketer.
Yeah.
He knows.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He knows
World
what's
class.
up.
Yeah.
He's like, you're hot. He didn't say that, but he said it. He's like, you're hot. If you're in a commercial, it helps you. Going to John's point.
It helps me.
Down the road. Helps me because people are going to be paying attention. Plus, you're sitting there,
Thanking me.
thanking me and like praising me the whole time. So obviously it's good for Donald Trump as a campaign commercial. And the best part is we don't have to pay for this shit. We'll get the sucker American taxpayer to pay for it. So everybody's happy, and the sucker taxpayers are the ones that are paying the $200 million.
And they're still playing, and they're playing on all, like
It's
they were
so-
playing on
so-
sports events or on
It's so
everything.
stupid. It's so freaking transparent. It's so ridiculously wasteful. It's so corrupt. But yeah, these the Republicans that are worried about cutting the cost, they don't say shit. But
Yeah,
they
it's
know
it's
this is
hypocritical
bullshit.
in a way. It's like
It's
Doge
completely hypocritical.
Doge is firing people that need their jobs, and yet they're spending money on this. But anyway, this is a follow-up ad, and I think if you've been watching these ads, you've noticed they've changed a little bit. This part was just so funny to me.
Yeah, we'll just play
so
this.
we're just going to play
I
this
haven't seen this one.
little clip.
Never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave.
Okay.
Did they run those in Spanish too?
That's what I was wondering. By the way,
So-
this is like
What is this app, John? The CBP phone app.
app. Yeah, this
Okay,
used
so-
to be an app illegal immigrants would use to like come in upon coming into the country. They
So-
changed it now. It's like your exit app. Like
So wait, what happens if I get on and I like fill out stuff for like John Vesmar?
I think I get swatted.
Let's find out.
Ice
Dude, that's
comes.
awesome.
John, I think your dry cleaning's here. No, it's ice.
Mr. Vesmar, Lansing Cleaners.
You've
we
reported your
Photoshop like MS-13 on his knuckles.
That'd be a great lockpod bit. You
Oh
guys
my
swap
god, that'd be
me.
Oh,
so
man.
funny.
We
We wouldn't
swat
be able to
John.
turn the studio on though.
We got a great show, but we just can't.
Damn.
We just can't figure out how to get
Vesmar
it
has
on.
the keys. We didn't think about that.
We self-reported him.
Okay, what's the over/under though? Seriously, that I'm gonna say 0.
I would say like 10.
on who is actually self-deported themselves.
10
with
people.
this app.
Like,
Oh, there's people that are stupid enough to do that.
Yeah, right.
well, now they're offering you $1,000. But I'm
And a
like,
free plane
wait a
ticket.
minute, isn't that still just wait, like where's my check? Oh, we're gonna mail it to your U.S. address.
Yeah, right.
But
Donald
wait, I'm
Tr-
self-deported.
He's got a good track record on making his
Making
payments,
sure you
right?
get
Yeah,
paid.
trust me, I'm the president.
I want some follow-up on this by some reporters, like how many people self-reported, and how many people got the $1,000?
And how much was the second? So the second commercial cost another $200 million, or
$200 million total for the whole ad, for the whole ad campaign. $200 million for the whole.
do you guys ever watch that show Cheaters? It's got a whole vibe. That whole commercial's got like the Cheaters vibe to it.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
It
It's
totally
like, could you go
does.
back through that again?
It's
It
like
does.
it's like a bad.
You ever
like,
watch that
TV
show
show?
Cheaters?
No.
It's like it's got the same vibe as Cheaters.
Totally.
It's like
Check this
weird.
out.
Watch.
Like the,
You will never return.
Watch
But
this
if you
part. This
register
part.
using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now.
So weird, man.
It's like
Do what's not
every
right.
infomercial
Leave
at 1
now.
in the morning. That's
Yeah.
just
So
running on
bad.
TV.
Totally,
It's like got
Joe.
a cheesy, bad infomercial vibe to it.
Yeah,
Let me,
right.
I'm gonna play it without.
You
the
will
audio.
never return.
Ad-lib
But
it.
if you register using
caught
our
it
CBP
using
Home app
cell
and
phone
leave now,
technology,
you could be
cheating on
allowed
his
to
wife.
return
You will
legally.
never-
Right?
Do what's
Right.
right.
In a motel.
Leave
You will
now.
never
Right.
be allowed home
Under
again.
President Trump,
investigators.
America's
Oh no!
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
joking.
Look at that. Look at that.
We're not, though.
I know we were saying that, and then they flashed Donald
Yeah.
Trump. Funny enough.
Yeah, that was not scripted.
That was not scripted, but it was very appropriate.
Well, interesting stuff. So
Allegedly,
allegedly,
Tom,
of course.
allegedly.
We got a guest waiting, guys.
Yep.
Yep. Want me to go get him?
Yes. Why don't you read the first ad and then we'll finish up on the ads.
All right, we're going to do this, and when we come back, we're going to have Matt Reum.
Matt Reum, like a ream of paper.
Ream of paper, excuse me. Matt
Yes.
Reum. Matt is a Mishawaka resident who was driving through the region and got into a horrible car crash, and it's an amazing story. So
Made
stick
national
around.
news.
It made national news, and he's here on Lockpod. So let's start off with Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured? Are you in trouble with the law? If so, give Cantrell and Cantrell a call and schedule your consultation with somebody who's in the court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
The Bug Guys. Mice in the kitchen, ants in your bed, spiders up high messing with your head. Don't grab a flamethrower. That's a bit extreme. Just call the Bug Guys. We're the dream team. We'll evict your pests without a fight, and you'll sleep soundly every night. No bugs, no drama, no creepy surprise, just clean, safe homes from the Bug Guys. Call now, because your house is not an insect Airbnb. The Bug Guys, 219-810-7481.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room, an outdoor patio serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offer a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site, just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer. I was just there yesterday.
And good food.
Delicious.
I love it.
And they had a wine and canvas thing going on in the back.
Look at you. Did you do that?
No.
Oh, Preston Insurance Agency
drank.
for decades. The Ron J. Preston Insurance Agency has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. The Preston Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. Preston Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you. And Jill?
I didn't know if Mayor was hopping in. Sorry.
Oh.
Calumet Brewing, Michelob Ultra, the official sponsor of the PGA, is a superior light beer with ultimate smooth taste. This refreshingly crisp light lager has only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, making it the perfect beer on the golf course or at the 19th hole. Check out the new Ultra Zero with only 29 calories, making it the perfect zero alcohol beer for any time of the day. Head over to the Cal Brew or Michelob Ultra websites and social media pages for more info on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Michelob Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Thanks to our sponsors, including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana, Lake County.
We did our homework there, Matt.
Well, that's always good.
Yeah.
Look at you guys.
First off, when I
Some
walked
big
in the
Irish
studio,
going on over on that
it-
side of the studio.
I know, man. When I walked into the studio, it smelled so good. Like I've never smelled such a good studio, by the way. So thank you, Joe.
It's never smelled this good. I can guarantee you
has not.
that.
Yeah,
It
never
has
will
not.
again.
The best studio.
All right, hey, we're going to start this off. I just want to start off, and then we're going to fire off questions to Matt about something that's interesting. But let's start off this way. On December 20th, 2023, 27-year-old Matt Reum from Mishawaka, Indiana, was driving west on 94 when he swerved to avoid what appeared to be a deer. His truck veered off the road, missing the guardrail, and plunged into a ravine beneath the Salt Creek overpass near Portage, Indiana. The vehicle landed out of sight from the road, leaving Matt trapped and unseen for days. That's what we're talking about. And this is it's an amazing story.
It
And
really
thank
is.
thank you for appearing on Lockpod, Matt Reum.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks
we've
for
got
having
some
me.
crazy video. If you can, if you are watching, you'll get to see this. But this is Matt when he got rescued. Pretty amazing stuff.
I wasn't told I was going to have a photo shoot that day.
No,
No.
I bet.
Wow, man.
So Matt, I mean, what do you remember from? It was at nighttime or first off, December 20th, 2023, 5 days before Christmas, and Christmas where we live is ridiculously. It's the coldest time of the year.
Yeah.
There's never a warm Christmas, really. So is it typical cold Christmas?
Truthfully, wasn't that bad. I don't know if it has to do with me being born in Russia, but
Right.
Roads
I
were
mean,
icy.
You were born in Russia?
yep.
No way. What
Yeah.
part?
So there was a small little province in Eastern Europe called Kaliningrad,
Uh-huh.
which was Russia's kind of naval port. And when USSR fell and kind of the Iron Curtain and all that went down back in the 70s and 80s, that became its own territory, but still under kind of Russian rule. And so, yeah, I was born there in '96, which makes me feel very young in this room.
How did you immigrate to America?
So,
Even
not
Damn.
counting you.
No,
Not
it's
counting
too
you. I'm
late.
sorry.
It's too late.
Yeah.
I've always been told that the producers are supposed to be seen but not talked
not a
to.
producer.
They're not.
Keep
They're not
going.
supposed to exist in here.
That's how Tom treats me.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah.
Finally,
outside the
John,
studio.
finally you have a fan.
I treat John like shit.
But yeah, in 1999, my parents, for whatever reason, they were deciding to adopt myself and then another kid from the orphanage there. And so I think it was April
Good for you, man.
19th.
You were adopted by an American family.
Yep.
And
I immigrated here, so
You have a story very similar
Legally.
to my wife. Did you know that?
I didn't.
My wife was born in Poland, in communist Russia,
Okay.
in Warsaw, Poland, and was adopted by an American family.
Really?
Very interesting story.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't
awesome.
know. I had no idea that connection until you just
Yeah.
mentioned that. So maybe you should talk to the Lake County Circuit Court judge when you get a chance. You guys have a lot in common. So anyway, you're born in Russia, driving around 5 days before Christmas in 2023, and you lost control of your truck, right?
Nothing happened between
No.
in the events, but
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, I mean we're here to
Just
talk
mi-
about.
Just minus 24 years of my life.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know.
you're born in Russia. Next thing you know, you're in a ditch.
Yeah.
A little levity here.
Yeah.
You know, a little
Yeah, so for graduating, where to kind of start? So
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yes.
Where were you, just about the event that like basically got you on the nation's radar? Where were you coming from, and where were you headed?
So I had been in Hobart for the day, and I was driving back back to South Bend, which is where I live because I was getting ready for
Gotcha.
a friend's funeral. And
So you're headed towards the highway from Hobart.
yeah,
You were
Gotcha.
like Hobart to South Bend. You were going to
Gotcha.
take 94
Yeah.
to the
Gotcha.
toll
Gotcha.
road, and then
Wow.
Yeah.
head on. And for those that are listening that aren't from around Northwest Indiana, I-80 94 in this area is a significant highway. You're talking about
The busiest
250 to
stretch.
350,000 cars a day.
It-
A
it's-
this-
lot of semis.
Yes, and a lot of semis because it's where I-80 and I-94 meet. And so this is it's a very busy place. A lot of bridges, a lot of just I would say, I mean, not that it's dangerous, but it's not like you're not like driving through Kansas,
Right.
So you're driving near Portage, and what happens where you somehow end up in a crash?
So I had missed my exit, because I hate taking 80-94 for a lot of those reasons, and the road's just terrible. So I had missed my exit, and I'd gone up a couple miles, and so I had taken the off ramp, went over the overpass, and heading back to Chicago to where I could go back towards Chicago, take the
Toll road and get back
toll
on
road,
to
and
South
then
Bend,
because
right,
that takes
yeah.
me right to my house.
All right.
So do you hit black ice?
So what was really weird about that time, it was really foggy. And, I've been driving a lot ever since, I kind of graduated high school, whether it was, driving from where I was living at the time to Weldon School, which was like a 4.5 hours away, to, for the last 10 years, I've been traveling as a construction worker to
Right.
where,
So you're an experienced driver.
I'm an experienced driver. However, experience does lead to some comforts
Right.
and some patterns.
Right.
And so when I'm on a highway, I like to go highway speeds regardless of the condition.
Okay.
And knowing that it had been, that morning had been a little chilly. That afternoon, it had warmed up to probably 40 degrees. So
Okay.
the ice I wasn't really too concerned about just because it still wasn't really that pertinent at that time of the year.
So it was a deer that came out?
I think so.
Yeah? You just, next thing you know, you're under the bridge.
So I had swerved, and having lived in the South for a long time, everybody says if you see a deer in the road, hit it. And, I followed that advice before, and I have hit a deer, and it ended up in my passenger seat. And there aren't a whole lot of things that are more terrifying than a wounded deer in your passenger seat.
Yeah? I've never had it, so.
No. And so this time, at this time, though, you missed the deer, obviously.
Right. So this time I swerved to miss it because I was getting ready to go home to get ready for a funeral of a friend down in Missouri. And so with it being foggy, I probably had, 200-300 feet of visibility at, 70, 80 miles an hour.
Wow.
And so I see something in the highway that I believe is a deer, and I make the split-second decision to swerve and miss it. And so when I swerved,
because you're freaked out because of a previous experience of hitting a deer, what ended up in your which makes sense.
And I want to be there for his funeral, so I don't want to hit the deer and then
don't have a car, don't have
right. You don't have time for that.
Right,
no,
right.
no. And this is all like within 3 days. Like I have to be down in Missouri for it. Like I don't have time to get a rental, to get plane tickets.
This is all going through your head as you're approaching the deer,
and so
you got like a half a second to think about it, and all this is passing through your head.
You're right, and then so that when you end up in the ditch, right, or in the
when I swerved, I went over the shoulder and kind of my passenger side had gone into the grassy bit, and right around this area, it's when it starts kind of dropping off right off the shoulder. And so I noticed my truck, kind of lurching that way. So I yanked it back on. And when I went to go yank it back on, that's when the guardrail had started. And so my driver's side tire, my rotor, all that had hit one of the supports on it, just ripping that off. And so that knocked me out because it set off my airbags.
Oh my goodness.
And my truck was doing what it was designed to do. And so a lot of the actual kind of facts of the immediate wreck are what we've been able to kind of deduce from tire markings and everything like that from fire department and wrecker. And so I hit this guardrail, I black out, but my truck doesn't. And it starts sending me spinning down this hill. And then I hit a rocky patch. And this hill isn't just like a little, nice little, I'm going to roll down a hill on a Sunday afternoon. This is a,
steep drop,
fairly steep drop. Like
what, like 20 feet?
I mean, it's not an immediate drop off. But I'd say it's, probably on the more steep side of what a grade should be.
Okay.
So let me ask you, Matt. So, a couple questions I had for you were, okay, you're down in this ditch. What happens to your phone if you had a cell phone?
Yeah. So I've worked out in kind of the southern lake area for quite a few times, whether it's at Burns Harbor, all these different steel mills or refineries. So it's a drive that I know kind of like the back of my hand. And so that day I just put my phone on my passenger seat, hooked up the aux cable, and I'm just
music.
Jamming on it.
So it's not near you. And then when you're in the ditch, are you pinned in so you can't get to your phone? Or
so during the wreck, while my truck went from spinning to actually rolling down the hill and then through a creek and then where it eventually landed, when I first came to, my first thought was, okay, I need to find my phone. I need to, call for help because that sounds like a really great idea at the time. And being disoriented and confused at the time, trying to find exactly where my phone wasn't the easiest thing to do.
Was it nighttime when you came to, or is it?
Yeah.
So it was dark?
So I came to probably 5-10 minutes later.
Holy crap!
Roughly. I mean, I don't.
Right.
Obviously, you don't have a clock, so you don't know.
I mean, I had a watch
you were
on, but I wasn't like watching my.
But your wheels were on the ground, so there's no water coming in the car or anything like that?
So I had gone, you can see the creek right next to it. And I've got better videos because I had gone back there a couple months ago. But that creek itself is probably about 40 feet wide. And in the middle, it's every bit probably 6 foot deep.
And you could see how you were hard to be seen because it was kind of like 3/4 of the way under the bridge.
Yeah.
With just a little bit
And
of your
nobody's
cab out.
fishing or anything
No
in
one's out that
December.
way. No.
Right. Nobody's going fishing because it's kind of chilly out.
Right. It's freezing. Who's going fishing 5 days before Christmas?
Yeah.
So you are immobile though. You're pinned in.
Yeah. So
okay. You're able to just hop out of your car or your truck.
No.
How are you pinned? Your leg?
My truck had initially hit bumper first, or during the initial impact, hit bumper first, sending the firewall and the engine into my lap, basically.
Whoa.
My left leg was pinned by the firewall by something down there. And then my steering wheel that had been pushed into me and then straight down onto my right thigh, so I couldn't actually pick up my right leg at all.
Get out of here.
Holy cow.
And that.
So you couldn't even move out of that
Couldn't
seat.
move, couldn't find your cell phone, and you're in and out of consciousness. So how are you? You obviously, now we know today, right, that you were there for 6 days plus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy
so
crap, man.
we all know that you can't really survive without food, or I guess you can't survive without water.
Right.
For, what is it, 3 days? I don't know what the...
So
something like that. So what's the...
They generally call it the rule of threes. You can survive without oxygen for about 3 minutes, without water for about 3 days, and then without food for about 3 weeks. And by whatever weird coincidence, the spot directly where I landed was directly under a drainage spout for the highway.
Wow.
Nice.
Holy.
And I've tasted some nasty drinks before. I don't think I can rate any of those up to where this water was.
Just like salty?
Oily?
I mean,
How about Malort? Like, how does it compare to Malort?
Yeah, right.
It's like if somebody put Everclear and moonshine mixed with urine,
Oh, God.
and
This
then
is awesome drink.
and then added a little bit of
Put
diesel.
that recipe down.
Oh.
Yeah. So
But it was the only thing you were drinking.
yeah. So I mean,
It didn't rain or anything while you were down there?
no, that's what the water was
Okay.
coming off of. So when it would rain, it would wash everything off the highway.
Oh, wow.
So whether that was
Yeah.
water, dirt, or
Right.
gravel,
Right.
or
But it was all you had.
yeah, and so that would funnel in, or that would come through the drainage spout right through my sunroof, which was
Wow.
kind of miraculous.
You didn't have much of a sunroof left, but yeah, it's unbelievable.
Wow.
It came right through there.
And
So it was like dropping on you?
oh yeah.
So you were getting drenched by it?
I was getting a shower, but I realized fairly quickly I could kind of bend my sun visor to where it would funnel all the water into the passenger seat.
You're like fucking
Nice.
MacGyver.
Yeah.
With
And
your
like,
legs
and by the
strapped.
way, let's remember it's December. So
Yes.
are you worried about hypothermia? Are you worried about And
So I had been planning on being out in Hobart for a couple days to be at the hall practicing welding and stuff. I just didn't want to drive back and forth an hour every day each way, especially when I was off work at the time. And so I had packed a go bag, just kind of a couple days worth of clothes and 2 or 3 jackets. And so, I knew I had clothes in there. I didn't know.
And you're able to reach them.
Yes.
That's another lucky.
So was it freezing at night?
So I like the cold, truthfully, and I've worked in very cold scenarios. Like I've worked up in northern Montana in some of the refineries there, and I've seen it hit -60. So I've
seen Russian dudes like they jump into the snow. They think it's no big
Right.
deal, man. You're a Russian dude, so
it's a bath.
Perfect for sitting under a bridge for 6 days.
And so I'm fairly lucky that my, I guess, not complexion, but I am fairly lucky that my body was able to handle it the way it did.
Matt, so you were missing. Somebody noticed you were missing, obviously. How long did it take before people realized you were missing? Because you were under there for 6 days.
So some of my friends, they thought, oh, well, it's kind of weird that he hasn't, messaged us for Christmas.
Holy crap, that was 5 days later.
Right.
But I mean, for most of my life, I've always just traveled. And like the week of Christmas, I was going to be going out to Colorado.
Right.
And Missouri. Yeah.
Well, so the funeral would have been Friday. Saturday, I would have been driving back up here, which would have been an 8-hour drive. Sunday, I was supposed to be catching a plane to Denver, where I was going to be spending a week going skiing.
But you missed all that.
Yes.
So
under
does
a bridge.
anybody notice you're missing all that? And who's the first one that picked it up? Like, where the hell is Matt?
No.
God,
I mean,
have you learned from, as far as like, I tell to my kids all the time about this, is like, when you're driving to school, I want you to know when you leave and I want to know when you get there.
Same.
It's just like a safety check-in.
Yeah.
And I do that as an adult. I'm 56.
Same.
I do the same thing with my wife
Yeah.
or with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm doing this and I'm going to be here.
Hey,
like,
we just landed.
Right.
Hey, I'm taking off.
do you do that kind of stuff now, or?
Oh, now yes. Now I have redundancies on redundancies.
Yeah. So that was part of the problem?
I think it was part of the problem. I think that, trying to plan for something like that is impossible.
For
but
sure.
Trying to give yourself the right tools to be able to make it could make it, a lot easier.
So let me ask you, because we're just starting to get a little short on time, and I want to get to the part where 2 fishermen found you.
Yeah.
So are you, tell us about that moment where these 2 guys come to where you're at.
Yeah. So that morning I had already pretty much been at wit's end. I was out of hope, out of, energy. I was done.
Mentally?
Mentally, physically, I was done.
It took you 5 days to get there? I think I'd have checked out like 24 hours later.
Yeah, right.
6 days.
6 days.
Shit.
When did
Come
you
on,
start?
Jill.
When did you
6.
start really getting negative? After a few 4 days, 5 days. You missed Christmas, like.
So the third day was the first real time that I struggled with some of the mental health aspect. That was the first time I attempted suicide.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry.
The 5th and 6th day, there were attempts kind of scattered all throughout there.
I'm
but
so sorry, man. That's so scary.
The morning of the 6th day, that was when I was just done. And that was when I had written my own obituary. I had written, it probably wouldn't have held up in court, but I had written my own will and testament just saying, hey, this is what I have. This is who it goes to.
That would have held up, right?
No,
Kevin?
probably not.
No?
No.
Even like a dying declaration kind of thing?
Maybe as a dying declaration, but that's a evidentiary part. I don't know if it held up for probate court, but I defer to the judges that are listening, but it may or may not. At least it'll show your intentions.
Right.
I'm going to have to talk to your wife about that.
Yes.
Yeah. So these fishermen decide to go fishing.
Yeah. So I had ended up taking a nap just because, at that point there's not a whole lot to do.
Right.
And I had gotten startled during the middle of the snap, and I see somebody's hand kind of reaching and grabbing the curtain airbag and pulling it to the side. And, in my head, I don't know if I'm hallucinating or, I don't know if whatever I'm seeing is real. And so
you probably scared the hell out of that guy too, by the way.
Yeah.
He's like, ah! Right?
That's interesting that you thought you might be hallucinating.
But like, could you imagine that guy?
Yeah.
He pulls it back. He sees a human face. Like, oh my God.
Alive, at least.
Yeah.
So
God,
one of the kind of funny things that we do joke about now is that one of the first things he asked me was, do you live here? And
you're like, nope, trespasser.
Yeah, no. He's startled. He didn't really know what was going on. I didn't really know what was going on. This is the first time I've seen somebody talk to somebody.
Thank God, huh?
Looked at somebody in 6 days.
That's crazy.
And that's kind of where some of the hallucination thoughts came in from. And so, it takes us a couple minutes just like, are you real?
Right.
Are you not real? And, even though we were talking, there was still kind of that seed of doubt in the back of my mind saying, this isn't real, this isn't happening. And
I mean, it was over once you saw that guy, because then they call 911 and they get the fire department. Right. So, like, little do you realize that it was done. That once you saw that human, and they could actually make that phone call that you needed to do the whole time, you know.
So, Matt, I want to ask you before we run out of time, just a question. Like, I know that you lost a leg in this, which is, you know, I mean, we're obviously thrilled that you're here talking to us, right? I'm sure you're thrilled you're here talking to us.
Yeah.
But you did have significant injury. You lost a leg. You have a prosthetic leg now, and I'm sure that's been a challenge, learning how to live your life with a disability. And I think that's actually where Mayor Tom met you, at the disability breakfast.
I heard your speech there, and I was like, I knew as soon as I heard you, I'm like, I got to get this guy on my pod.
And I know you've written a book, and John's going to make sure that we put the book up in the chat and a link for the book. Put it in now. Just kind of to finalize our interview with you, if you could just tell our audience about, like, you know, what's the message to people, that what you've learned about this, and that, you know, you've obviously survived an unbelievable episode in your life, but you've also kind of, your life's changed because of it. So like, give us the version of, this is what I want to tell people about what happened to me.
So I kind of had to come up with something a lot similar to this for a speech I was doing Wednesday morning. But in the speech, I used kind of I don't know the exact term for it, but pretty much saying that, you know, if you take life one step at a time, you know, you take 2,000 of those and look behind you, you're a mile away from where you started. And, you know, growing up and living life, walking was never something that I really thought about, or, you know, climbing stairs or climbing a ladder. And there were so many different things that I had honestly just kind of taken for granted, because, you know, I'm, you know, a healthy,
young, strong
adult male. Like, why shouldn't I be, you know, proud and confident of my abilities? And one of the really cool things about my leg is that it's got a step counter in it. And so I can see how far I walk. And, you know,
it's really cool.
It is. And insurance hates it. But, you know, today's 500 days since the rescue.
Wow.
I know you didn't know that.
Wow. I didn't. That's great. I wish I could say I did know that. It would be really, we wanted to celebrate your 500th day.
And, you know, I've been through, you know, something that I don't wish on anybody. The actual going through it and then the aftermath of it, I don't wish that on anybody. But the amount of lessons and the amount of, you know, kind of self-confidence that it gave me, knowing that I went through something that, you know, nobody should ever go through, and knowing that I made it through it, and, you know, I'm able to,
is like kind of inspiration.
It is.
So, I mean, and congratulations, by the way. And I want to make sure we do mention Still Standing, The 7 Miracles of Matthew Reum. It's on Amazon. John's got the link in chat. Mayor, you want to, I know we're kind of short on time. We're getting to the end of the show.
Fun fact.
So, fact. Go ahead.
Megan, our controller, her uncle and her other family member were one of the guys that found you.
Wow.
No way.
That's interesting.
I forgot. She told me, but it's in the
Megan,
chat. Yeah.
Megan's our city controller. She's,
okay.
Yeah.
Very
cool. Are you real close to your rescuers? Do you still talk to them?
Mario Navarro. Yeah. We, Porter County just did their National Telecommunicators Safety Week, and I went out there to meet the dispatchers along with Mario Navarro and his family. So
that's awesome.
We get together every once in a while for things.
Cool.
Well, Matt, I want to, again, ladies and gentlemen, Matt's book is Still Standing. I pulled it up on Amazon while we were talking. And Still Standing, Matt Reum's world is turned upside down when a catastrophic car accident leaves him trapped under a bridge for nearly a week. Amidst the struggle for survival and the knowledge that he's likely lost his left leg, Matt discovers the power of resilience, humor, and hope. This gripping yet heartwarming tale is filled with lighthearted moments and unexpected laughter, proving that even in the darkest times, the human spirit can shine brightly. Join Matt on his incredible journey of recovery and find inspiration in his unwavering determination to find joy and purpose in life again.
Available on Amazon.
Yeah,
Matt,
man.
thanks for coming on.
Thank you for coming on Lockpod. We appreciate you, man.
Real quick note about the book. the front cover, I am not artistic at all.
It's cool. It's got a picture of the bridge with Matt there with his prosthetic leg. Well,
A kid from, I think, Portage drew that.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
So
Congrats to that. That's really cool.
So, Matt, I want to say thank you for
Absolutely.
appearing at Hammond's Disability Breakfast and inspiring the entire crowd with your amazing story. And thank you again for coming on LockPod. We're very honored. It's an amazing story. And I'm very glad that I met you. And I'm glad that you made it, bud. Really, it's
Absolutely.
inspirational. And I definitely think you should reach out to the Lake County Circuit Court judge. So
Yep.
it's a pleasure
Thanks,
to
Matt.
meet you.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
coming on.
Matt Reum, everybody. Thank you again to Steve for lining Matt up and getting this all taken care of. Jill, it's great. Thank you, Jill, for the wonderful addition to the studio. Smells so good, doesn't it,
The
Steve?
flowers, Jill.
Well, as soon as you walk
Wow,
in, you can
thanks.
tell
Not
the
you.
difference.
Not
me.
herself.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, Jay Vaz, appreciate you, man. Thanks
Yep.
for everything. Kevin Chandler, good to see you. And coming to you live from the Locomotive. We appreciate you. Season 15, episode 5 is in the books. We're going to be back on Tuesday with
Happy
another-
Mother's Day to everybody.
Happy Mother's Day to the moms. And again, congratulations to the Pope. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday with episode 6. Take care, everybody. LockPod is out.